Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and in this part, in this part I'm going to show you the part I already recorded, and then we're going to just move on. I just finished recording an entire episode. I fill out all of the suburbs for this area, and then my power goes out, right as I'm wrapping up the episode. So, we built this in the last part. We did this together. Everybody saw this. This is on my channel. But what I didn't get to put on my channel was just kind of the remainder of all of this. So we've got the other two suburbs fully zoned. I did the European suburbia theming on both of these just to give it a little bit of a different feel than the rest of our city. And then this area here is a nature reserve. It's currently at 3 stars. I'm trying to get it to 5 stars since we don't have a 5-star university. A 5-star nature reserve yet in our city. And then if we come over this way, we have this beautiful park, little city park, looks great, as well as a little lake area, a little pond. One issue I'm having with this is I did something and then all of a sudden all the zoning on this side disappeared, and even when I rebuild the road, the zoning doesn't come back. So I don't know what's going on there. Oop, something just leveled up. Let's go see. Was it this? Yeah, this is now level 2, and this is a level 3 still. It's a meeting. We just need more people to come in. So, I worked on this last part, got all of this kind of situated and ready to go, and then the power went out, and we lost everything I did. But that's okay. We're getting much, much closer to our goal of 100,000. Right now, we're at 85,000 people, and one thing I was trying to address in the last part, which is slowly being fixed, is the number of people we have employed in our city versus the number of jobs we have available. Right now, we're still 7,000 people short of meeting all of the jobs that we have in the city, and that was causing some issues with buildings going abandoned and businesses not being able to fill all the staff they needed. I want to work on this plot of land right here, right next to our airport. Christopher Cox, I'm going to throw the comment up here on screen, in the last part, commented that what we should do here, since we're kind of referencing Philadelphia with some of the aspects of the city. For example, the sports team for our college. We have a yellow line that goes from this southern part of the city all the way up to the actual downtown. He suggested that we expand our university area, and this will help keep it 5 stars. We'll expand the university area to include a little pocket of space right here, and this pocket will then have additional sporting venues and just additional concert venues, just larger things and structures that we wouldn't be able to fit anywhere else, that are pretty low lying, that have a lot of traffic, and will definitely get some use from tourists. Now, one thing I wanted to check, we did fall in our last part to 4 stars, and that was because we actually ran out of enough students to educate, and because I added an additional college over here in, what is this, Hillside District. And also thank you to everyone in the comments who left name suggestions for our new district. So we now have Hillside District here. Over here we have Highway Heights, and then this is South Linden Park, and this is North Linden Park, when in reality I think this is actually supposed to be North Linden Park, and then this should be South Linden Park. Let's go ahead and get started with this section here. I think what I want to do first, we really need to rework this interchange so that we're able to support a lot heavier traffic going through this part of the city. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into a quick time lapse where I try to rework what we have going on here. And then once we jump out of that time lapse, we'll start placing down some of the different buildings that we have. this is going to do for now. I wanted to try to keep the intersections far apart. And actually, I say that I can't really do anything about this crossing. But what we can do is, which one is it? Is it this one? No, it's this. Yeah, it's this. So we can keep the traffic going through and we can turn off crossings on the bridge. So allow traffic through, turn off crossings. Okay, so now we have both exits for this highway coming off into one exit into this intersection. This is going to be quite a busy intersection. I think that's okay. And then this is our on-ramp for this side, which comes on right before they have to make all these crazy decisions. Hopefully this holds up. I'm a little nervous about this particular part just because it's such a small switch. All right, so I cleared out the trees. Now let's clear out a few more. We now have this whole area here to work with. And what I'm thinking is, hopefully you can't hear that I'm sitting here cracking all of my knuckles to get myself ready and prepared. We now have this beautiful one-way road, Hancock Boulevard, and it is two-way road, one lane, both directions, with parking along the side and then a promenade in the middle for people to walk, which I think will be great just because this area is going to have a lot of traffic. So the things I want to do, first we need to make sure that this here is a university. Okay, so this is part of our university. Oh, this is when the power went off. Okay, you can if you don't know how to make a satellite campus for a university or satellite for a satellite campus or area for a park, say you want to have the same park mainly in one spot and there's this little spot somewhere else you want to also be a part of the same park and they're not connected. What you can do is on the park area, you click into it just like you normally would, and you're going to click and drag, and you're going to create a district that comes all the way over to where you want it. So I'm going to just jump back into this district. So I'm dragging this. This is still Ashley Darby's University or Academy of the Arts. I'm coming in here. We're going to take this entire area and drag this around. We'll bring it around this water here. We'll bring it up along the highway. And the whole goal here is twofold. One, to increase the land value in this area by adding just more things to do and more amenities. And then two, I really want to get Ashley Darby University to a place where it is able to have the 5-star level attractiveness without the policy we have turned on that makes it free to attend. I want to make money from that university just so that we're not going into the red. Even though right now we're in the red only by $300 a week, which really isn't that bad. I want to try to stay in the positive. Okay, so now I'm going a little bit too far, but that's okay. So we're coming around here. This is all water here, so now we're going to fill in these bits. Great. So now what we can do is, now that we have a university which is districted all kinds of crazy, we can remove this middle part. So we can come along here, we can just come right along this, and as long as you don't, the reason it's so wild looking is I don't want to intersect another park or industry area, because if I do, then I will actually change it over to a university area instead, and we don't want to do that. So now we have our second satellite area for Ashley Darby Academy of the Arts. You can see it's highlighting now. And on Ashley Darby Academy of the Arts, we have 2,000 campus attractiveness by default. If we go and we turned off universal education, we would fall to 16,000 or 1,600 attractiveness, almost 1,700. Let's keep that back on because we want to actually get back up to 5 stars. And let's go ahead and start figuring out what is going to be in this area. First, I know that we have... Do we have a subway? We have a subway connection here, but we don't actually have a subway connected here, but we have a yellow dead end here. So actually this subway, wait a minute, there are 2 subways here. All right, slight detour from the plan. I just realized we never connected up the subways here. This yellow subway line can come down here. We can stop once in Woodland, stop once in this area, and then connect to this area. But we can also maybe extend this blue line. It's going to come from here, come straight on up. Let's go ahead and just turn on all of our marking tools. There we go. Because now, we can take this all the way to the airport. Oh, yes. Okay, great. Now that blue line goes from... Man, the blue line comes or purple line comes all the way from Aleutian Flats through all of our suburbs in our city down to the airport, which is amazing. And then the next one is going to be a continuation of the yellow line we have here. It does mirror the train, but the train is an express. It goes from the airport all the way to Central Station. Doesn't go anywhere else. So this is kind of solving for any additional more specific connections that we might have. So now let's begin mapping out what's going to go on in here. So we have this, the American Football Stadium already. I would love to put the baseball park. This would actually fit perfectly along the side here. I would love to place these along side roads instead of directly on this main road. So if I were to, let's just grab just a really cheap road really quick. If I were to put this here, how close is that? That's perfect. Oh, yes. We could put it here and still get a little bit of zoning in the front, but I almost want it to be right up against here, and then maybe zoning and parking like that can be in the back. So if this were to go right in this spot, how does that look? That looks fantastic. Now it's a little precarious because maybe one of these, someone hits a home run or it gets out of the actual baseball field. It could maybe hit any of these cars, but you know, that's okay. Or we could put it the other direction so it would land in the water, but I'm not worried about it. Let's connect this guy right in. This is more of like our service road back here, and I think that's great. I want to keep that if we can. All right, so we've got a baseball stadium. What else can we put in here? We have, the basketball arena. I do like the basketball arena. It's nice and big. Now this one, we might actually put this further down only so that, or on the main road, only so that it has a nice silhouette. I don't necessarily want these facing each other directly. Or this could come straight on down here. Let's just bring it all the way and then we'll finesse it in a second. This could go here. Instead, that fits beautifully. I like that. Oh, I think that looks nice coming right off the side of the highway. You can see all these different stadiums. Okay, let's bring this down. I think at this point, we'll keep all of this open. We now have another space here for something. So we can do another stadium, or we could even look at some of these unique special buildings. We do have the Expo Center, which could go down here, which again, if we are providing a subway stop in this area, that could be really useful. What if we, with the Expo Center, it has a little bit of parking, I think, at the front. But if I come in here with all this area is going to be crazy loud and crazy busy, but that's all okay. We do have two spots. Oh, perfect. We have a little spot in the middle, and that can be a beautiful tree-lined pathway. Look at this. All right, I think that looks nice. I think maybe along this back road, we come in here, and if we were to go just along like this, in this area, maybe even bring this up. Let's go ahead and we'll fill this with some leisure specialization, just like we did in the other portion. I don't think a high density leisure specialization does anything different than the low density, but let's go ahead and put these down. We'll maybe build it to, we'll build one building here. I think there's a little bit of a slope here. Actually, we'll build no buildings there. So this can be like some of the bars and some of the restaurants for this area. Because we already have these things in here, which I'm sure right now they haven't done anything to the land value, but because they're so loud, the noise in this area is going to be insane. So why don't we maybe come in here And we got the expo center. We have this section here and this section here. I want to maybe make this a little bit nicer. So maybe in this area here, we have a road that comes just along the side of the highway. And then we'll send this right along here as well. I think I actually want this to be tree lined on the perimeter. This can come straight along. So we have these two areas here to fill. I think in this back section, we come in here, we take one road kind of off from here. And on this road here, we can maybe start to solve some of our sewage problems. I think if we were to put two of these, we will probably have no more inland or sewage issues. Okay, so now we've got this kind of moving and grooving. I put a little bit of just detailing here, just some rock work and some bushes, just to kind of make this look a little bit more refined with the water coming right up to where the road is. And then over here, this has started to fill in a bit, which are all pretty low density in terms of their height, which I'm really happy with. I think the one thing I might go in and do is just put down a few of these trees in any kind of like open area. There's not many. There we go. That seems to be about it. We'll put one more just for good measure. There's already a game. People are lining up here. People are lining up here. Things are about to get moving. We are seeing a lot of traffic because of both the influx of people to these areas, but also with these changes. So let's try to remedy that with a little bit of public transit. So again, we have this yellow line here. It should stop in here somewhere. For now, it'll go right here at the very beginning. And then this can come all the way through, I think, I would like for it to be in this area. So I think this will come through and over, and then this can connect up. So let's do that. So now we have a much needed connection, and really we've now created a loop with our subways. Even though it's two separate lines, we do have some kind of loop happening with where you could transfer once and be able to access everything. It looks like all of our buses are moving. This area, I want to see how this goes. I want to give it some time to just get used to all of the new buildings we have here. A lot of this traffic coming off is where are these people all trying to go? Are they all coming to this area? So it looks like a lot of post trucks. So a lot of them are going to come down this way. If they're all trying to get to this highway entrance, I will need to add an additional part of the issue. Might be what I've done here. I have forced all of the traffic into one lane, and the traffic can't get over to turn if they wanted to turn. So now if we go ahead and release that, why don't we overwhelm this with actually having 3 lanes instead of 2? Let's just go ahead and upgrade this. And then I think the other thing we need to be mindful of over here, there we go. I'm trying to move these fences now that they're already in here. It's a little bit challenging. I think another thing we have to be mindful of is that a lot of the people in this area are trying to get through this. Look at all the people walking, which is wonderful, except for they're going to be blocking traffic. So let's add in a pedestrian crossing of some kind. I think it might actually just be underground. Okay, so now we have a pedestrian crossing that comes from this side here, goes all the way underneath the ground and comes out over here. I've done this a few times in the city. They're not probably the safest underground crossings, but I think that's going to work for, oh my word. Okay, let's limit some of the trucks happening on here. If we use this tool here, we can come in here and we can ban certain types of vehicles. So now the last thing I want to do in this area, we've made some kinds of traffic jams. We're just going to let it run. I think this will sort itself out as it keeps going. But I want to go ahead and put in just some kind of park asset over here. This is the Mall of Moderation. I also like this mall too. Why don't we put in the Mall of Moderation with the fountain behind it? This was the Friendly Neighborhood Fountain. So we'll put those together. There we go. So now we have the mall here with all of this in front. We've now limited the truck traffic coming in here, and I think that has helped some. It's not been perfect, but it has done a little bit for us. So now postal trucks really can't get from here. They have to turn and go and use this road, except for you, who've decided you're not doing that at all. What are you considered? You're one of those. You are a city service vehicle. Oh, they're a city service. What that means is that we're banning the wrong thing. Let's allow all vehicles on all these roads again. Now, city service vehicles, I think, are the recyclings. We're going to ban recycling and SOS on these back roads. Why don't we also ban city vehicles and service blah blah blah. Ban city service vehicles and these SOS emergency vehicles. We're gonna ban them. There we go. There we go. So now I think that's gonna get all of that traffic out of here, which is gonna help us kind of keep things moving. But now let's go ahead and check on our university. Have we... Okay, we're 2300 attractiveness. If I turn off universal education, which if you remember, it gives a 20% boost to our campus attractiveness. So if we have that on, we're getting much more attractiveness. But if I turn it off, yes. Oh, we're just above. We're at 1900 attractiveness. That's fantastic. So now we can keep this off. Look at our income. Our weekly income is $40,000, $42,000 and climbing. Don't stop, keep going. I think all that's really left to do here, this traffic, I think is just some growing pains, and it's going to need to sort itself out. A lot of people are in fact coming in here and turning this direction, which means they are going to some of these newer areas that we've recently built. So while these buildings are upgrading and they're getting reaching their highest level, there's just going to be some more traffic, and that is okay. Let me go ahead and just quickly do a bit of detailing in this area off camera, and then we'll come back to kind of close everything out. Okay, so the traffic has not been solved any, but I did go through and just add more trees in here just to kind of give a buffer. So that way when you're driving down the highway, you don't have to directly stare at these buildings, but also to separate those buildings from some of our newer, more beautiful buildings that we have in here where all the tourists currently are. There's probably still more that I could do to this area, but for now I think this is where we're going to leave this. I might even put one or two more areas of commercial zoning just so that we have a few other locations where cars and trucks are going to. But I think this turned out really well, and when you zoom out, it really just fills that area perfectly. I mean, there's not much else I think that we would have gotten away with so close to the airport. And when we look down, I mean, we have no issues with the airplanes coming into this area, but I think it's really nice that we're able to kind of keep all of this loud stuff just in one place. So I'm really pumped about that. Now, what I'm not excited about is this lick of traffic we have here. We are going to have to maybe address that a little bit more aggressively in the next part, but I'm happy with our subway. Service 69 people last week. Nice. And it's just looking fantastic. I'm really, really impressed with how this looks in terms of our city and how it fits in. I think that is where we're going to leave this part here. I did not actually mean to pause this. I think that's where we're going to leave this part here. I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if there are any things you might want to change in this part. If there's anything that maybe doesn't make a ton of sense or that would be worth doing a little bit of editing to. I do enjoy, again, that we have this tree buffer. So I want to just kind of keep as much of the work that we're doing as we can inside of this particular area. And I feel like it really fills out well, especially with our entirely new suburban district. We're currently at 86,000 people. So yeah, the population hasn't changed a whole lot. Not a lot of in-game time has actually passed. And other than this little section, traffic flow is at 75%. This area is a little rough. Again, we're going to work on that. The rest of this area, though, is doing pretty good. Nothing is too terrible. There's cargo here. That's to be expected. But at 75%, I'll take it. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this part, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and consider doing so. And leave some comments below about what we should do next in the city of Westfield. We're getting close to the ending here, and I'm really excited about it. Thanks so much again, and I will see you guys in the next one.